Hello everyone. Today's story is not just to help you practice English. It's a real-life lesson that can change how you see success, failure, and yourself. Listen carefully, because every word you learn today can also take you one step closer to the life you want. Miyamoto Musashi is a famous Japanese swordsman. He lived many years ago in Japan. He wanted to be the best with a sword. He also wanted to understand life, art, and people. His dream was big, and his road was long. First, we must look at his childhood. Musashi was born in a small village. The house was made of wood. The air smelled of smoke from cooking fires. Chickens made noise outside the door. He was a small boy with big eyes. His father was a samurai. His father taught him how to hold a sword. His father often said, "Be strong. Do not stop." Musashi listened. He wanted to be strong. He did not go to school like other children. He learned from his father. He learned from nature. He looked at the river. He looked at the mountains. He thought, the world is wide. I must know it. He trained with wood swords. He trained again and again. His arms hurt, but he did not stop. He said to himself, I can do this. I must do this. One day, he played near the village road. He saw travelers go by. Some men had armor. Some men had banners. They looked big and strong. Musashi thought, I want to be like them. He picked up a stick. He swung it fast. Dust rose from the ground. A neighbor laughed and said, That boy wants to fight. Musashi did not mind. He wanted to grow. When he was young, his mother died. The house felt empty. The nights were dark and quiet. He looked at the moon and felt small. He said, I must go on. He stayed close to his father for a time. But later he lived with another family. Life was not easy. Still, he trained. Then came his first fight. He was only 13 years old. A man came to the village. The man wanted to test young fighters. Musashi said, I will fight. The man looked surprised. You are only a boy, he said. Musashi answered, Yes, but I can do it. They stood in the field. The grass was wet from morning rain. The air was cold. People from the village came to look. They whispered. They waited. Musashi took a wood sword. He looked again at the man. He breathed fast. Then he ran forward. He hit with power. The man fell to the ground. The people cried out. He won. The boy won. Musashi stood tall. His hands shook, but his eyes were clear. He thought, this is the first step. Later that night, he sat by the fire. His father looked at him. His father said, You have taken the first road. But many roads wait. You must train. You must not become proud. Musashi nodded. He felt warm from the fire. He felt proud inside, but he also felt heavy. He thought, I must fight again. I must learn more. After that, Musashi wanted to leave the village. He wanted to go to towns and cities. He wanted to find strong fighters. He wanted to see the world. He said to a friend, I will go far. I will not stop. The friend answered, It will be difficult. The road is long. Musashi only smiled. The morning he left, the sky was light blue. Birds sang in the trees. He put food in a small bag. Rice, dried fish, a little water. He tied the bag to his belt. He said goodbye to the village. He walked away. The dust rose behind his feet. He thought again, this is only the beginning. Musashi walked many days. The road was long and dusty. He saw rice fields, green and wide. He saw farmers bend low in the sun. He heard the sound of water wheels. Sometimes he smelled soup from small houses. Sometimes he ate only cold rice. He often thought, I must be strong. I must not stop. One evening he came to a noisy town. The streets were full of people. Merchants shouted, "Buy this! Fresh fish! Clean cloth!" Children ran and laughed. Musashi looked again and again. He thought, the world is big. I must learn here. He found a temple to sleep in. The floor was cold, but he did not care. The next morning, he went to the market. He saw swords for sale. The metal shone in the light. He touched one blade. It was cold and sharp. The seller said, "Young man, do you want a sword?" Musashi answered, "One day, yes. But now I only look." The seller laughed. "Then train hard. Come back when you are ready." Later, Musashi heard of a dojo. A dojo is a place to train with swords. He went there and asked, "Can I train?" The master looked at him. The master said, "You are young, but if you can stand, you can train." So Musashi stayed. Life in the dojo was not easy. The floor was hard. The air was full of sweat. He trained from morning until night. He learned how to move fast. He learned how to block and strike. His arms hurt. His legs hurt. But he did not stop. He said again, "I must do this. I must go on." Other students looked at him. Some said, "He is too small." Others said, "He is too serious." But when they trained with him, they saw his eyes. His eyes were dark and sharp. They thought, "He will be strong." One day, the master spoke to him. "Musashi," he said, "you fight with fire. But you must also fight with water. Fire is strong but fast. Water is soft but endless. Do you understand?" Musashi looked down. He thought, "I do not understand yet. But I will." Time passed. Musashi grew taller. His hands grew hard from the sword. He began to fight in matches. The sound of wood swords hit the air. The crowd shouted. Musashi won again and again. People said, "He is different. He fights like a storm." Yet he was not always happy. He often sat alone. He thought, "Why do I fight? Is it only for victory? Or is it for something more?" He looked at the moon and said, "I must find the truth." Then came a great chance. In Kyoto, there was a famous school. The school had strong fighters. They were proud and feared. Musashi heard of them. He thought, "I must go. I must test myself." The road to Kyoto was long. He walked through mountains. The air was cold and clean. He saw snow on the trees. He walked through villages. People looked at him and whispered, "That is a young warrior." He slept in barns. He ate little food. Yet he kept walking. Finally, he came to Kyoto. The city was big and bright. Lanterns lit the streets at night. The smell of grilled fish filled the air. He heard music from houses. He saw women in silk robes. He thought, "This place is full of life." He went to the school gate. He knocked. A student opened the door. "What do you want?" the student asked. Musashi said, "I want to fight. I want to test myself." The student laughed. "You are only a boy. Go home." Musashi did not move. He said, "Call your master. I will wait." The master came. He was tall, with a calm face. He looked at Musashi. "Do you really want this?" he asked. Musashi answered, "Yes. I must do this." The master nodded. "Then tomorrow, come back. We will fight." That night Musashi did not sleep much. He lay on the floor of a small inn. The air was cold. The sound of voices came through the wall. He held his sword close. He thought again and again, "Tomorrow is my test. I must not fear." When morning came, the sky was grey. The ground was wet. He walked to the school. Students stood in a circle. The master waited with a sword. Musashi took his place. The air was silent. Begin, someone said. The master moved fast. His sword cut the air. Musashi blocked and stepped aside. He felt the wind of the blade. He attacked back with strength. The sound of wood hit wood. The student shouted. Musashi fought like fire and water. He moved fast, then soft. He looked again and again for a chance. Finally, he struck. His sword hit the master's arm. The master stopped. He looked at Musashi. He said, "Enough. You have skill. You also have heart. Remember this day." Musashi bowed. He felt his chest rise and fall. His hand shook. Yet he smiled. He thought, "I did it. But this is only one step." After Kyoto, Musashi traveled more. He wanted to fight many masters. He wanted to see the world and learn everything. He went to towns, forests, and rivers. He crossed mountains in winter. Snow touched his face. He felt cold, but he kept walking. He thought, "I must know life. I must know people." In one village, he saw children play with wooden swords. They ran and shouted. Musashi smiled. He remembered his own childhood. He said to them, "Do not stop. Train every day." They laughed and ran again. The air smelled of flowers in spring. Musashi liked it. He thought, even small things teach. Then Musashi faced a real challenge. A famous swordsman came to a town. He was tall, with a long black sword. People said, "No one can defeat him." Musashi said, "I will fight him." Friends said, "It is dangerous." Musashi answered, "I must do this." The day of the fight came. The sun was hot. The field was wide and dusty. People stood around. They shouted and clapped. Musashi looked at the swordsman. He looked again. He said quietly, "I will fight. I must fight with my mind, not only my arms." The swordsman attacked fast. Musashi stepped back. He felt the air of the sword on his face. He smelled the dust of the ground. He saw the crowd tense. Musashi moved softly, then quickly. He struck. His wooden sword hit the others. Sparks of thought seemed in the air. Finally, he disarmed the man. The crowd shouted, "Musashi! Musashi!" After the fight, the swordsman bowed. "You are strong," he said. "I have never seen skill like yours." Musashi bowed too. "Thank you. I learn every day," he said. He thought, "This is my path. Fight, learn, and think." Later, Musashi began to write about life and fighting. He used a small brush. He wrote on paper made from trees. He wrote about swords and strategy. He wrote about water and fire. He wrote about the mind. People later called his book the Book of Five Rings. Musashi said, "Knowledge is like a sword. It must be sharp." He also learned art. He drew birds and mountains. He painted flowers. He listened to the sound of rivers while drawing. Sometimes he smelled ink and flowers together. He thought, art and fighting are one. Both need attention. Musashi did not marry. He said, "I have the world to see. I cannot stay in one place." He spent days in mountains. He listened to birds. He watched the snow fall. He ate rice, fish, and vegetables. He sometimes slept under trees. He said, "This is simple life. This is good life." People remembered Musashi for courage and wisdom. They said, "He is like water. He is strong but calm." Children learned from his stories. Adults thought, "He understands life." His art, his books, and his fights became famous. People wanted to know how he thought. In his last years, Musashi lived in a small house near a river. He watched the sun rise every morning. He listened to the wind in trees. He painted birds and mountains. He thought about the fights he had won. He thought about mistakes he had made. He smiled and said, "I have learned. Life is long, and every day is a teacher." Musashi died as an old man. His hair was white. His hands were strong but gentle. People cried, but they also smiled. They said, "He has left the world, but his mind stays with us." His books were read by many. His paintings were kept in temples. His life was an example of strength, wisdom, and patience. Even today, people in Japan remember Musashi. They walk where he walked. They read his books. They try to understand the mind of a swordsman. They see how he fought, thought, and lived. Children say, "I want to be like him." Adults say, "He teaches us more than swords." Musashi's life is like a story that never ends. Musashi often said, "Do not fear. Train every day. Look, think, and act." These words are simple, yet they are strong. They teach courage and learning. They teach patience and vision. They teach how a person can grow from small steps to great deeds. In the world of swords, in the world of art, in the world of life, Musashi remains. People walk quietly in fields, imagining him moving like water. People open his book and read, "Be like water. Flow, adapt, and do not stop." His legacy is big, like the rivers he loved. Musashi's travels taught him many lessons. He met farmers, merchants, and monks. He listened to their stories. He saw their work and struggles. He said, "Life is many things. I must see all." He walked along rivers and mountains. He smelled flowers in spring. He heard the birds sing. He felt the cold wind in winter. In one town, Musashi watched a festival. Lanterns lit the streets at night. Children ran with small flags. The smell of grilled fish and sweet rice cakes filled the air. Musashi smiled. He said to a boy, "Enjoy today. One day you will understand more." The boy laughed and ran. Musashi thought, even small joys teach strength. He also met other swordsmen who were very skilled. Some were proud. Some were quiet. Musashi fought many of them. Sometimes he won. Sometimes he learned. He said, "Victory is not always the goal. Understanding is more important." He practiced every day. He looked at the sun rise and set. He thought, "I must grow, even if slowly." One day, Musashi went to a big river. He saw fishermen casting nets. The water was clear. He smelled the fish and wet wood. He wanted to cross, but the current was strong. He watched carefully. He said, "Like fighting, I must be careful and patient." He stepped slowly. He crossed without falling. He felt proud and calm. Later, he came to a quiet village near the mountains. Snow covered the roofs. Smoke rose from chimneys. He stayed with a kind old man. The man said, "You have traveled far. You must rest." Musashi nodded. He liked the warmth of the house. He listened to the wind outside. He thought, even warriors need peace. In the village, Musashi met a young boy. The boy wanted to learn sword skills. Musashi said, "You must practice every day. Watch and think." He taught the boy slowly. He moved like water. He explained with words and actions. The boy copied him carefully. Musashi smiled. "You will be strong one day," he said. Time passed, and Musashi grew older. His hair turned grey. His face showed lines from sun and wind. Yet his eyes were still sharp. He could move fast when he needed. People came from far to see him. They wanted advice. They wanted to learn. Musashi said, "The sword is not only in the hand. It is in the mind." Musashi also painted more. He drew birds, mountains, and rivers. He listened to the wind while painting. He saw the light change on trees. He said, "Art teaches patience, like fighting." Sometimes he gave paintings to friends. Sometimes he kept them. He thought, art and life are one. Both must be observed carefully. Even though he was famous, Musashi was simple. He ate rice, fish, and vegetables. He slept on a thin mat. He liked walking in the forest. He liked listening to rivers and wind. He said, "Simplicity is strength. Peace is important." He thought a lot about life. He wrote notes and ideas in small books. People admired Musashi for many things. He was brave, clever, and calm. He was strong in battle, but gentle in life. Children learned from him. Adults respected him. His words and art spread across towns. People said, "He teaches not only fighting, but also thinking and living well." In his last years, Musashi lived quietly. He watched snowfall in winter. He listened to birds in spring. He thought about the many people he met. He thought about fights and lessons. He said, "I have lived fully. I have learned much." He smiled and felt peace. His life was like a river, moving and calm, yet strong. Even after his death, people remembered him. His paintings, his books, and his story stayed. They said, Musashi was not only a swordsman. He was a teacher of life. Children ran with wooden swords, imagining his moves. Adults read his words and thought carefully. Musashi's spirit stayed in the rivers, mountains, and towns of Japan. People today still say his name. They say, Musashi teaches courage and patience. They study his book, The Book of Five Rings. They try to understand how he thought, moved, and lived. His life shows that one can grow slowly, see the world, and never stop learning. Musashi's life left many lessons. People say, see clearly, think carefully, act strongly. He practiced these every day. He wanted to teach people how to live and fight. He also wanted them to enjoy small moments. He liked listening to rivers, watching birds, and smelling flowers. He thought, life is many things. I must notice them all. In his last years, Musashi wrote more books. He wrote about strategy, art, and life. He used simple words. He wanted everyone to understand. He said, a sword is not only for fighting. It is for the mind. He painted mountains and rivers on paper. He gave some paintings to friends. He kept others. He looked at each painting and thought, this is my life in color. He also taught students. Young boys came from far towns. They wanted to learn from Musashi. He said, train every day. Watch and think. Be patient. He watched them move. He corrected their mistakes. He told them stories. They listened quietly. They said, we want to be like you. Musashi smiled. One day, you will understand more, he said. Even when he was old, Musashi could fight. He used two swords, like he learned as a boy. He moved fast. He moved soft. People said, he is like water. He flows and adapts. Musashi thought, the world changes. I must change too. He showed that strength is not only arms, but also mind and heart. Musashi also thought about peace. He said, fighting is important, but so is calm. He spent time walking in forests. He listened to birds. He watched the river move. He smelled the flowers in spring. He felt the wind on his face. He said, life is full of small lessons. Do not ignore them. He remembered his first fight. He remembered his father's words. Be strong. Do not stop. He remembered the first village. He remembered the dust of fields. He remembered snow in mountains. He remembered festivals in towns. He thought, every step made me who I am. Musashi became a symbol in Japan. People read his books. People copied his paintings. They wanted to learn his way of thinking. Children practiced with wooden swords. Adults discussed his strategies. People said, Musashi was not only a fighter. He was a teacher of life. When he died, the world was quieter. The wind moved in the trees. The river flowed calmly. His students bowed. His friends wept softly. But they also smiled. They said, "He taught us courage, patience, and wisdom." His book stayed. His art stayed. His spirit stayed in the mountains, rivers, and towns. Now, Musashi's name is famous. People study his life in schools. People visit the towns where he walked. They look at rivers and mountains. They read the Book of 5 Rings. They think about how he fought, how he painted, and how he lived. Musashi shows that life is long and full of learning. Even today, people say his words. Train every day. Look and think. Be like water. Musashi's legacy is clear. Strength is not only power. It is patience, courage, and understanding. His life is a story of learning, fighting, and growing. People remember him not only as a swordsman, but also as a wise teacher.